So hello everyone, thank you again for joining me. It is the 15th of June, Monday, and it's day 5 of the Duncan Edwards virtual walking tour, and we are today at the site of the old Wolverhampton Street school where Duncan attended. Before I start today, I must mention Busby Babe star Mark Jones, who was born on this day in 1933. Of course, one of the babes that lost his life instantly at Munich. A superb player, as all the babes were. But we can't forget, of course, that he was somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's husband, and most importantly, somebody's dad as well. So we are thinking of Mark Jones today, wonderful Busby babe who lost his life at Munich. Happy heavenly birthday, Mark, resting with the babes, forever united. So this is the site of the Wolverhampton Street School, and this was Duncan's secondary or high school, if you like, and he attended from 1948 until 1952, when the county was still in Worcestershire. It had 300 pupils and was opened in 1880 and was demolished in 1965. It's to the west of the town, certainly to the town centre, and it is a 3 or 4 minute walk away. So this is a picture of what the school would have looked like. That in the far corner there is that building there, which I will talk to you about in a minute, because that's got a history all by itself. But this is the school as it would have been where I'm standing now. It was in the middle of a highly developed area. There was lots of housing around it due to the influx of workers during the Industrial Revolution. Most of the houses were then classed as slum areas, as you can imagine, and was later cleared during the latter part of the 1920s, hence the need for the Priory and Woodside estates. Abraham Darby, one of the forerunners of the Industrial Revolution, was born in a suburb of the town, and there's plans for a statue to be made of him there. So, as I say, this is the site that we're on. That is what the school would have looked like. And there was 2 entrances to the school, one for the boys and one for the girls. And this is the school where Duncan's career really took off from. The football world, the media and the public really began to notice this young lad from the Black Country, and he was quickly signed for the school's football team, as well as the Worcestershire schoolboys and Dudley Town boys. And our foundation recently formed an affiliation with Dudley Town Football Club. I've joined on their board of directors, and indeed their chairman is one of our trustees and directors, Steve Austin, who is an absolute asset to us. And it is an affiliation that I'm extremely proud of and really excited about. I think it's going to be great, not only for the foundation and for Dudley Town Football Club, but for our community as well. I think we can do a lot for it. So by 1950, while Duncan was still a pupil here, he made his debut for England in the schoolboy 11, where he played against Wales. One of his school teachers, Stella Cook, is a well-remembered and well-loved member of the school, recalled Duncan as being a modest, quite shy boy who became even more withdrawn the more famous he became. He never made a big deal out of his stardom. To him, he was simply doing something that was his life and something that he loved. But make no mistake, at this point, he was already becoming a household name. Stella Cook recalled an essay that Duncan wrote called A True Wish, which expresses his desire to play at Wembley Stadium, and a desire that would soon come true for the young Duncan. Coincidentally, she is buried very close to Duncan in the Queen's Cross Cemetery, Duncan's favourite teacher, still watching over her star pupil. So Duncan was becoming well known for something else, however. As well as his football, he was getting very well known for his dancing, especially Morris dancing and sword dancing, and it was something that he was extremely good at and won lots of trophies and competitions with his dance partner Julia. Indeed, his future fiancée, Molly Leach, recalled how wonderfully Duncan used to dance on their Saturday nights out together. And this is referred to in a scene in my play, Keeping the Dream Alive, which, fingers crossed, will now go on stage in February, as the 2 dates have had to be postponed because of the COVID. So when you come to Dudley, if you are not on one of my walks, come to Wolverhampton Street. It is the open space opposite Southall's Lane. So if I show you, so you can get your bearings, that is Southall's Lane up there, and it's the council car park. And if you come to this area and stand here, this is where this photograph of Duncan was taken. And it is a press photograph, and I must thank historian Dave Barrett for giving me this photo. This was taken on the 22nd of February 1951. So he was still in his penultimate year of leaving school. By June 1952, just as Duncan was leaving school, he signed for Manchester United's youth team, and it was the beginning of a meteoric rise to fame for the young Duncan. Little could anyone have known, however, that just 5 years later, Duncan would lose his life in Munich. So I'm going to show you another building and another photograph, because this is the old school building, the old school office, I think this was. And there's another photograph of Duncan standing here. So as I say, if you do come to Dudley, come to Wolverhampton Street, because that famous wall is still there and the school building, and it does show Duncan standing here. So it is now, as you can see, a council car park, and the council have waived parking fees here until the 1st of July because of COVID. And there's lots of social distancing guidelines being put into the town. It has opened up again, the traffic has really increased. But the council have been very good here in Dudley. I'm sure they have been where you are too. But there is lots of social distancing guidelines going on in the town. There's no parking in the high street now, so that the footpaths are wider. So, you know, you do have to give credit where credit is due. They have dealt with it really well. But I do want to mention this shop here that I'm just coming to. This is quite a well-known shop here in Dudley. As you can see, it's the old paper shop called Thebergens, and this was founded in 1795 and was originally a fishmonger before turning into a newsagent's and confectionery store. It was run by the same family, the Thebergens, until it closed in 2016. And it spent every day of all those years open every